I can't tell if this is working or not. I, why can't I see my face about it? I don't know that I love this. Invite people, blah, 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 settings. I just want to see my face so I can... Let's see. Hang on. Hide from... Oh, okay. I didn't want to hide it from the broad. You are presenting to everyone. Well, how in the hell am I... Turn camera. Oh, there it is. Okay. Good Lord. Is that right? How do I make the thing bigger? You are presenting to everyone. So, well, damn it, that was the whole point. All right, so here's the thing. Obviously, I bought a new computer today, and I got a Chromebook because I really didn't want to have to deal with Windows 10 because, from what I understand, it's a big piece of shit. So, see if that makes it bigger. Oh, no, it doesn't. Well, anyway, maybe I'm just going to have to deal with Windows 10 because this thing, yeah, it's got a webcam, and I think it's got a thing where you can Skype on it, but, however, I can't find how to make a video with it. And my hair's sticking up right there. That's kind of bothering me. It said that I went to the, oh, hell, the question and answer thing, and it said that you can go to Hangouts. You could either go to the YouTube directly and upload, which clearly is old information, old intel, because you can't do that anymore. Or you can make one on the Hangouts, and typically the Hangouts is so that you can have like a live streaming web chat with your peeps or whatever. And I hope I'm doing this right. Anywho, I have missed being able to make my videos because here's the thing: I cannot walk and chew gum at the same time. So when I have to sit here and hold a cell phone and just kind of do all it, I can't think. It is Sunday, and where am I at? In my house. What am I wearing? My bathrobe, because that's what I do when I'm at home. I haven't felt really great the past couple of days. I've just wanted to sleep, and thank Jesus, that yesterday was a good day at work. And by good day, I mean it wasn't real busy for me because, quite frankly, I don't know that I would have made it. I just don't know that I would have. I just want to sleep. And I don't know. I'm really not sure what that's about. And I meant to take a picture of this the other day because, I have the ADHD, so I'm on from one thing onto the other. My best friend got married, and she went to somewhere. Punta Cana, yeah. Anyway, she had this made for me. How great is that? It's wooden, and Madre, which is my nickname, that's what the people call me. And it's a little wooden angel, and I've got it sitting next to this photograph of my mother because my mother loved angels. Don't know if y'all knew that, but she did. She was a big fan of them. Whew. So anyway, and I'll tell you something else on this new computer, which the jury is. I mean, it's a Chromebook and it's very light. I do kind of like that about it, but it seems very plain, which I don't. I mean, it's not that I'm going to be doing all sorts of crazy stuff with it. I just like to make my videos and play my Farm Hero Saga game. I can't really tell how clear the. Anyway, the Facebook. The minute that I turned the Facebook on, there was an option to turn on the social fixer. I've talked about the social fixer. I've talked about how awesome the social fixer is in the sense that you don't have to see the political hoopla if you have the social fixer. So, and I also got some new flashlights. I stopped at the swap meet on the way home. Those little flashlights with the tasers in them. I had a little one. And I'm just going to go ahead and be honest and tell you what I used it for. I used it to tweeze my eyebrows because I've got a magnifying mirror and it was a perfect light. So I kind of used it so much that I ruined it. So I bought another one just for the tweezing. And honey, I got the Big Daddy. It's got a flashlight and a taser in it too. So I'll be taking that one to work with me. So if somebody wants to call in the middle of the night because they want some Clomptons and they want to get all messy with me, then I'll just zap their little wieners and be done with it. So, or they're twat. I don't care. I mean, I'm not going to discriminate. So, the only thing that I really wanted to touch on or talk about, if I can stay awake long enough, is I wanted to talk about loss and how it affects us and how it sort of shapes and molds us. I would say probably the last couple of years, especially for me, have been filled with loss. And I think with each person that you lose, and I think a lot of it depends on who they were to you, the kind of connection or relationship that you had with them, the circumstance. I mean, there's so many variables. There's so many factors, I believe, and that determine how you deal with it or don't deal with it. And for me, like I said, I've had lost my mother a couple of years ago. That surprisingly has been probably, in terms of loss, one of the, I don't really want to say easy, because I think losing your mother, losing a parent, is not an easy thing for anyone to go through. But I think it's easier to navigate and easier to make sense of losing someone who's led a long life. Do you know what I mean? You never want to say goodbye to your parents. You never want to lose your parents. And as a matter of fact, I was just kind of daydreaming a little bit yesterday, and I'd give anything for more time with my mom, because she was just such a hoot. She was such a complete and total hoot. And I think, especially with everything that I've been through the last couple of years, how great it would have been to have her here with me, because my mother, like I said, gave the best advice, 100%, but just the best advice ever. I'm gonna take this big honking honker off of here. She just did, and it didn't matter what kind of mood I was in. It didn't matter how I was feeling. She always knew. Yeah, that's starting to change color even. She always knew what to say, and you just can't put a price on that, You can't put a price on that. So absolutely, I wish you were still here. But I think the thing of it is with my mother is that I had such a good relationship with her. Do you know what I mean? We had such a good relationship the last several years of her life, and that when she died, I was at peace with it, because we had such a close-knit relationship, and she knew how I felt about her, and I knew how she felt about me, and she had been getting a little sick. I mean, I've said before, my mother was one of these type people that she would rather cut her arm off than tell you, or at least tell one of us kids, that there was something wrong with her. She'd be laying on her deathbed, and you'd call and ask her how she was doing, and she'd say, "Oh, pretty good, pretty good." That was just her way, But I don't know. I mean, there's just something, I just feel I just feel like she's still here in a lot of ways. Maybe that's why I've dealt with it so easily. I don't know. I just feel like she's still here. And I try to incorporate my mother into every day of my life. I mean, I have pictures of her everywhere, and I talk about her, and she's just a constant presence in my life. My mother is. So I lost my very first girlfriend ever, the first woman I was ever in love with. I lost her about a year ago, and the thing about that is I can't really come out and publicly say anything about it, because on the Facebook, a lot of my Facebook peeps know her. And if you were one of the very, very select few that were very close to me during that time to know who she is, you would understand that she would have rather cut both arms off than for anyone to find out. So it's kind of had to be, I think that was one of the hardest things about the breakup and you know, getting your heart broken for the first time, is not even being able to really discuss it or talk about it. It was a bad breakup, and it sucked. I'm not going to lie to you, because I really, truly loved her. I mean, it was the first time think about it. Think about the first time you fell in love with somebody. And, yeah, I mean, it's just crazy. So losing her was weird, and it just brought back so much and so many crazy memories and stuff and things, and it was weird. When Alicia passed away a few months ago, I'll be honest with you, with all the people that I have lost in my life, and that's to include family, like biological blood family, her death has probably taken a greater toll on me than anything else, and it haunts me. I'm constantly tormented and haunted by it. And yes, I do understand and know from a from an intellectual standpoint that I shouldn't, and I get all that. But you know what? I'm the type of person. I'm very soft-hearted. I'm very tender-hearted, and I feel things. I don't know if I should say I'm hypersensitive, but maybe I kind of sort of am. Do you know what I mean? I just feel things on a really, really deep level. I think for me, most of the time, I try not to. I try to turn my head to it so that I don't have to deal with things. But at the end of the day, we are who we are, and you can run, but you can't hide. So I think with her, it's just, I don't know. It's 7 years that we spent together as a couple, and then the friendship that ensued, and the family bond that ensued for the next 8-9 years beyond that. So 16 years we've been a part of one another's lives, either romantically or just a really strong, close bond. And there's just been so much that has happened with her, and I think sometimes people get in a way that we feel that we wish we could help or save them, or wish that there was something that we could do to change a situation. And I think sometimes that's our greatest torment, and the worst thing that we can do to ourselves is play the what if game, or what if I would have done this, or if I'd only done that, then everything would have had a different outcome. And the reality is that things are going to happen the way things are going to happen. It's already etched in stone, and it goes down the way it's supposed to go down. And then you're left to deal with it, and you're left to decide if your faith is strong enough to allow you to deal with it. And what I mean by that is to not sit there and question, I've always fancied myself more of a spiritual than like a straight up religious person. I know a lot of people call bullshit on that, because they're like, well, that's, people who say that they're spiritual, they just don't want to commit to any sort of doctrine. And it's not about that. It's, and I've had the religious conversation before. I'm not really into the whole organized religion. I mean, it just seems like, I think it's too complicated I don't think that's what religion was meant to be. I don't think it was meant to be like this big hoopla. I think, religion and spirituality in its simplest form, it's a connection. There's no list of rules, and it's a connection that you have. So, and because I'm a spiritual person, I'm down with Jesus. I'm down with all that. I've said this and established this many, many times. I love profanity. I cuss like a sailor. I really do. And it's not that I'm trying to be disrespectful. It's not that I don't love Jesus. It's just that I have a potty mouth. And there's worse things I could do. There's worse things I could be than somebody who talks dirty. But, and I mean, it's not like every other word out of my mouth is something vulgar. There's just certain swear words that I tend to appreciate more than others. And it depends on the situation and who I'm with. The frequency with which I use them. I mean, sometimes I don't even say them at all. Shit, damn hell. See, I hadn't said anything in a while. I had to hurry up and just get it out of my system. But anywho, my train of thought left the station and I wasn't on it. What was I saying? Spirituality. Oh yeah. So I mean, I kind of fancy myself more of a spiritual person that does believe in the Jesus and all that, and I know that we're not supposed to question things, but God, we're human. We're human, and so of course we're going to question. Why did that have to happen? Why did she have to die at the age of 39? Why do her children have to grow up not knowing their mother? Why? And I have sat and thought about all these different reasons as to why. From, he saw her struggling and just said, you know what, sister, come on home, to she just couldn't take it anymore. I mean, there's 10,000 different reasons that I've tried to rationalize and give to myself. But all those reasons don't amount to nothing when you're sitting here by yourself and you think about them and you hate the fact that they're not here with you. Do you know what I'm saying? It's tough. It's just tough. And like I said, I've lost a lot of people. I have. I ain't no spring chicken, honey. I think once we start getting older, our family and our friends, they just start kind of dropping like flies. They really do. And so we become more and more accustomed to it the older that we get. And I've lost family. I've lost close friends. I totally have. But for whatever reason, losing her has just absolutely thrown me for a loop. And I had somebody say one time, well, you're still in love with her. Which it was obviously somebody who didn't know me well, in order for them to have made that statement or that comment. Because if they had known me, they would have known that portion, that part of our relationship ceased to exist years and years ago. Actually, years before we even broke up, it did. But it wasn't about that. I mean, it was about, imagine spending 7 years, and the thing of it is, as a gay lady, which I don't know how y'all straight folk do it, but in the gay community, it's not often that you see people that stay together for a great deal of time. So 7 years in like lesbian years, that's a long time. It's a long time. But imagine 7 years with someone, a very tumultuous, very emotional 7 years with someone, and then imagine, several more years following where you're so intertwined with one another because your families are so intertwined with one another because of the experiences that you've shared. I mean, it's like a part of you. It's like your sister. It's like your family. And that's truly what she was to me. I mean, I refer to her niece and nephew as my niece and nephew. I refer to her sister as my sister. I mean, to me, that's just another part of my family. And I don't know. I guess maybe I had never lost someone that close to me. Maybe I don't know in that way. I don't know. But anyway, I said all that to say this. Um, to anyone who is grieving or who is going through a loss or some mess or whatever, I think the best thing you can do is just get through it the best way you can and get through it the best way you know how. And if it means that you have to sit there and cry your eyes out, cry your eyes out. Because I don't think that there's any right way to grieve about something. I think everybody does it their own way, and I don't think there's a right or there's a wrong. And I get so perturbed at people that feel like, well, you should be over that by now. I You know what? No, there's no statute of limitations on grief. You should be able to grieve for as long as you need to. And people that say stuff like that are assholes. I'm sorry, but they're assholes. So we all do things in our own time. And so I feel like, you know what? Everybody knows what's right for them, and everybody knows what is going to be best for their mental health. So that's what I say you do. So, anywho, well, I'm gonna go ahead and try to stop this and see if I can get it to work. I have no idea how many minutes this is. This is supposed to be like a live broadcast, but I didn't invite anybody to it. And they say that when you stop it, it automatically uploads to your YouTube channel. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens.